Hey everybody, thanks for joining me to color. Today we are going to be working on this adorable Mo's digital pencil image called Leprechaun Lass. Isn't she cute? I love her. I put a link to her down in the description box if you'd like to head over and grab her and color her up. You have plenty of time to color her before St. Patty's Day and give her to a friend. She also comes with a sentiment. I didn't use that, but you can also use the sentiment that goes with that. Hi, Chris. Thanks for joining me. Kristen, thanks for coming back. So that's what we're going to do today. So let's have a quick commercial so we can give everybody a chance to get here. Next week on the 8th, we're going to be doing this adorable cutie here. This was a card kit. I already sold out. So if you want to get this one, this is called Love You to Bits. This is a Mo's digital pencil image also. So if you head over to Mo's and just put Love You in there, she will pop up and then you can print her out and color along with me since the card kit's already gone. And then the following week, on the 15th, we are going to do this one. And this is also a card kit, and I just made it, so there is still some left if you want to go grab it. It's called Surprise, and it's on the very front page of the store if you want to pick him up. And in case you would like to pick him up, you can use coupon code YouTube for 25% off this week and grab him up. And I also just put first class shipping in there, so you can get 25% off and use the first class shipping, and it will save you some dollars for that. On the 22nd, I'm thinking we're going to do a Power Poppy digital image called Everything's Rosy, and I'm in the middle of coloring the flower, so it's not done yet, but it will be finished up hopefully today, and I'll get that loaded on the store blog, where you can find all the classes over there on the little tab at the top of the screen. That's something new I added up there here lately, and I'm trying to keep up on it. So far, so good. I managed to get stuff up there a few weeks in advance, or a couple of weeks in advance, so everybody can go either grab a kit or grab a the image and print it out so that they're all ready. So I printed my girl here on Neenah 80-pound solar white cardstock. So let's go ahead and get started because she is going to take a few minutes. She's got a lot going on there with that green, so we're going to want to do all that. So I'm going to go ahead and outline my girl first. So for that, we're going to use C00 and C0. I'm going to go ahead and put my C0 first. And I just want to put that where I want to have some dark stuff. So like underneath of her hat is going to be a little bit darker. So I'm going to put a little dab there. And you can completely forget this whole step if you don't like outlining and just leave it white. I just personally like to outline my girls or my images so that it looks like they're popping off the page a little bit, not quite so flat. But that's just my personal preference. Let's go ahead and add a little bit over here and then maybe a little bit underneath of her hat here. See, wasn't that quick and easy? Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to completely outline the whole thing with C00. So let's start right here at this little clover. And I don't usually pay attention to how wide my pen is. I just go completely around. And I also like to do it first, so I don't have to worry if I've already colored it and pulled the colors off of my image out here into the background. There's no worrying about that if you do it first. And I've done that, so that's why I know to do it before I get started. And we just go all the way around. This is also, if I do it first and I get some on my girl somewhere I don't want it, it's super easy to erase. But mostly if I get some on there, I just leave it. I don't mind. Because usually the colors you're going to use next completely cover it up. Okay, did I get it all? I think that's it. And all this stuff is pants down here, so we don't have to worry about any of that. Hi, Amira. Thanks for joining me. All right, so now we're going to go with her skin. Today we're going to use something different because, whoops, I got too many pins in my little bucket here, so let me move something real quick. Because I can't get them out. That's usually your first sign when you cannot get them out, that you have too many in there. Okay, so today I thought because she is going to be a red-headed girl, we would give her kind of a pink toned skin, because most of the little red-headed girls I know, they get sunburnt pretty easy. So we're going to give her kind of a pink tone to her skin. Let me see what we got here. Let me move some of this stuff. Okay, so we're going to use these. So that's E01, E00, E000, R01, V20 for her skin. And then for her cheeks, we're going to use R32, 20, and then 30. So we're going to use those. Whoops. Okay, now let me put them over here in order, because I would be the one that would completely color them the wrong way. So let's go ahead and do E01 first. And I'm going to go ahead and start down here on her leg. Mr. HeathersHobbieHaven's decided today that he's going to be remotely in charge of the screen, so he's moving everything all over the place. Okay, so we're going to do E01, and you want to be conservative with this. I don't want it to be, because it's kind of a really peachy color, and I'm not too keen on that. So let's go down a little bit more. I want you to see. Okay, so we're going to go down here. I'm not too keen on it being too peachy, so I'm going to try to be nice with it and use just a little bit. We'll get over here, and then she's going to have a little bit there on her knee where it's bent right here. And then I'm going underneath of her hand a little bit, and we'll go down her pant leg. And then for her hand, let's do her fingers and her arm, and then we'll do the same over here. And I'm going to go ahead and do a little dab right next to her sleeve. And then let's go ahead and do her neck too. And I'm just going to color that in because that's going to be pretty dark in there. And then we'll wait and do her face after we do this other part. Okay, so now we're going to go with E00. So for that, you're going to touch down on top of your E01. And I'm going to flick away from that previous color. And I'm taking up about 3/4 of my arm. And then over here, we're going to go up her leg, and I'm going to go ahead and color this whole leg in. And then we're going to come down, and we're going to flick into the middle. I'm going to go along her sock. Same over here. And then let's go over the top of her knee where her hand is resting. And I'm going to color in underneath of her kneecap. And we'll fill in this leg. Okay, so then we'll go E00. And for this, I go over all 3 colors. I just swipe across the whole area, or across the whole area, the entire thing. And then I'm going to take E01 or R01, And this is where we're going to get our pink tone. So for that, I'm going to go ahead and go again over her entire leg. So I'm just swiping over the entire thing. And again, I'm not doing too much, so I'm just barely touching that paper and swiping my pen across it, giving it a little bit of pink. I got a little bit on her jacket there, but that's not going to matter because we are going to color that green. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and take our V20. Whoops. And I want to add that where I want some shadow. So let's go with right next to her shorts. And then I'm going to go up along the back of her leg. And I kept my little line kind of skinny. And then over here, where this little kneecap is, I'm going to go with a little skinny line on the other side. And then this kneecap and down her leg. And then again on the back of this leg where it's touching her socks. And let's do a little bit up here on her neck. And then for her arm, go like this. And we'll add just a tiny dab of shadow in there. I don't like it to be too much, and that's just my personal preference, is that it's not too overwhelming. Okay, now we're going to go with... Mr. HeathersHobbieHaven's having some issue here. Okay, let's get this off here. What's this? I don't know. Get that off there. Don't save. Let's see. What has he got? Okay, it says there's some kind of, it gave me some kind of code. Do you want that, honey? Who knows what he's doing down there? He's doing something. He's downstairs, I'm upstairs. He's doing something else. Now what's he doing? Now he's doing... Nope. Okay, he doesn't want that. Okay, well, let's just turn that off. Okay, anyway. Let's go with our EO1. Alright, so let's go with in her ear over here, because this is going to have... It's all underneath of her hair, so I'm not going to be too worried about that. And then let's go with it under her hairline. And then we're going to go this hair right here. I'm going to kind of color that one in, but I'm going to leave this one where you can see underneath of her face. And we're going to bring this darker color down and around to her chin. And then let's also go where her hair is. I'm going to say the light's going to shine this way. So let's go ahead. Her hair right here is on top of her face. So I'm going to put a line of this color down the back because it's going to be hitting that and causing it to be darker. And then let's go up here under her hat and bring it around over to this eye. Let's try that first. Okay, then I'm going to add E00. Hi Linda, thanks for joining me. And Teresa's here. Hi Teresa. Alright, so let's go with this. I'm going to color her ear in. And then let's go ahead and flick a little bit of this in. Because we're going to color her hair red, I went ahead and went right over the top of those little hairs because it's not going to matter. And then over here, when you're doing her eye, I try to leave it so that there's a little bit of white around. Then we're going to do E00. So I'm not going to butt my color right up against her eye. I'm going to leave it a little bit down here on the bottom, like over here right here, there's going to be a white. So I'm going to bring this down just a little bit so that it doesn't go into that area. I don't want it to fill that in. Like over here on this eye right here, it's black, and then there's this white patch, and then there's this line. So I want to use that as my guide so that I don't go up into here and make her eye the color of her skin, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. Okay, I'm going to swipe this clear across her face. And I'm not too worried if it looks patchy because we're going to put some her cheek tone on. Alright, so now we're going to go with... Okay, so we have... I know I'm going to totally get that wrong. Mamua has joined us. Hi! And if I butchered that, I'm totally sorry. Okay, so let's not do our R01 yet because we're going to go over that afterwards. So let's now add our cheek color. So I'm going to start with R32. And R32 is really pink. So when you're putting it on, let's not use too much. So like over here on this cheek, I'm going to... Uh-oh, let's not do that. Do you see how wet it is? It's so wet that it's already dripping. Look at here. Oh, wouldn't that have made a huge mess? That probably wouldn't be good, now would it? Let's see if we can... I must have filled this one up this week. That's no good. So I'm going to pop the other end off my pin and let it sit for a second here, and it'll suck that back up. It's a good thing I caught that. That would have been terrible. And I didn't bring an extra girl in this time, so I would have had to go get a new one. Alright, so it looks better. See how it's not quite so drippy? So let's go ahead and... do some dots. So I'm just going to kind of dot my pin here along the edge of her cheek. Make it a little bit pink. That's really dark still. It's still looking drippy. I'm going to wipe my pin on my piece of paper. And this isn't any special cardstock or anything. This is just my scratch piece of paper I brought in here. See if we can get rid of a little bit more of that. Let me turn on my... Okay, I'm turning on my Discord so Mike can talk here. It's beeping all over on my phone, so I better turn it on. Okay, so for this cheek over here, whoops, let's turn it the other way. And I have changed the nib on this one, so it has the fine tip on the other side. That's why it's that size. So over here, let's do some pink on this cheek. But for this color, I put it down in the middle, and I'm just going to flick away from my middle. And then I do the same thing. I put my pin down in the middle and then flick the opposite direction. Okay, let's try that. Because I don't want him to be too pink. And then we're going to go with R20. And I went over the complete top of that R32. And remember up here on your eye, you don't want to get past this little line right here. I'm leaving that white. Okay. And then we're going to add R30. So I'm going to bring this color up here to that little line. Get our pink going there. Now, let's go. I don't want to do the EO1 again, remember, because that one was too peachy. I don't want to pull that out too far and make her whole face this peach. So we're going to go with EO1 first. So let's swipe over her ear, and then we're going to go like this. Okay. Then we'll add E000. And for this one, I go over her entire face. And I'm just lightly brushing over the top. I'm not dragging my pen and leaving it sit there. Now, for the pink, we're going to add R01. And again, just like the E000, I'm going to lightly pull it across her face. I'm not leaving it on there too long. Don't worry about any of those hairs because we're going to paint those red. So they're going to be dark. Okay. Now I'm going to go with my V20 and we'll add our shadow. So let's do a shadow up here under her ear. And then I'm going to go right next to this hair over here. And we're going to curve it and bring it down to the bottom of her face. Thus. And then these hairs up here, I'm going to go along her hat too. So let's go right along here. And then these hairs that are hanging down, I'm going to put a shadow on the back. So I'm going to hop over her eye and I'm going to come down. There's a little bit right down here. Like that. I'm thinking that... I think I'm going to put some more R20 on her cheeks. And was this the one that made a big mess? I can't remember now. I'm going to pop the other end off. I can't remember which one was making a big blobby thing. And then let's go over that with E000 just a little bit. And then, let's see, let's do, she's got a little bit of her, some lips right there, so let's take R20, and I'm going to do, she's got a little bitty line right here on the top, so I'm going to do that. And then over here, I'm going to go, I don't want it to go like from right here where it dips down and way over here, so I'm going to kind of start here just past where the line connects over here, and bring it down so it's like a little triangle. And it's hard to see. Let's see. Because you don't want it to be big and fat up here at this end. So I kind of curved it so it's just a little bit over here. Let me see. You'll see she's just got a little bit of her lip right there. Okay, and then let's do G24. For her eye. Yeah, GR20. That's what I thought it was. R20 that made the mess. No, I think it was R32 first. And then I had R01 did that too. But I caught it in time. Okay, so I'm going to give her green eyes. So right here she's got black, and then she's got a white line, and then she's got the outside part. So I'm going to do this little white line. And I'm just going to use the tip of my pen to color that in. Nothing fancy. Same over here. Just the tip. And you can't hardly tell, but it's there a little bit. Okay, then she's a redhead, so we're going to give her some freckles. So I'm going to use E31. Now let's start down here on her leg. So I'm going to do some freckles over here. And remember, the more you press down on your pen, the bigger your dots are going to be. So I'm just going to very quickly tap up and down and get some littler dots. I don't want them to be huge, monstrous things. And you could totally leave your freckles off. She doesn't have to have any freckles if you don't want. I just thought it would be interesting to add some freckles today. And then we're going to go up here and we'll do the same thing on her face. So let's give her a little patch of freckles above her nose. So let's go, and then we'll bring them over here into her little cheek. And we're going to do the same thing going this way. And then I'm going to go ahead and put some freckles up here on her forehead and bring them down a little bit in here. Darken this side up a little bit because this side's going to be in the shadows more. So I'm going to just dab on the dots I already put down just to make them a little bit darker. And there she has some freckles. All right, there we go. There's so far so good. Isn't she adorable? I'm loving her so far. And I survived not making a mess with my pen, so I really love that. Okay, so let's see. Hair, E19, YR18, 9 and 4. Yes, if you guys are watching the video, make sure to hop into the chat and say hi. We would love to hear from you. And if you haven't hit the little thumbs up button yet, please hit that. So these are the colors we're going to use for her hair. And I'm going to start with E19. If you have a question, always make sure to ask that in the chat too, because we like to answer questions and carry on a whole conversation here at Heather's Hobby Haven. We get a little crazy around here sometimes. All right, so we've got some little stray hairs up here. So let's go ahead and hair. So hair seems to be everybody's, it's really hard to get those little dinky streaks. And it is, I'm not gonna lie. So you're gonna have to, I try to hold my pen more up and down, so it's straight up and down, so that when I flick, I'm only using the very tip of this little pointy pin. So that tends to help out. And remember, if you're just barely touching the paper, you're not gonna get as fat as streaks. So that's how I try to do it. Because the longer your pen is on the paper, the more ink it's going to suck up. That's just the way it goes. And then she's got a few here. She's got a braid, so we're going to twist around our braid. Okay, so we've got a few little streaks. And then I'm going to flip over here to the other side. Amara is asking, where do you refill your markers? I have re-inkers of my own here in the store. I also sell refills in the store if you would like to purchase those. Some I have on hand, others I would have to order. It just depends. They are not as popular, so I don't usually keep a bunch on hand. You can also go over to Dick Blick and pick those up. They're usually pretty reasonable over there. And I will put, after the video, I'll put a link to that down in the description box. Or if you decide you would like to go over to Dick's and pick something up, if you kindly go over to the store blog and use the affiliate link, I get a couple of cents off of whatever you buy. It helps out a little bit. So let's go with this. So again, let's try our little streaks. We're gonna streak, streak. And I'm gonna probably add this again later, so I'm not worried. Oh my goodness. There you go. You're not gonna fix that. This is not gonna be my day, can you tell? That's not good at all. Okay, quick break. I have to go get a new girl. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. All right, so I've returned. Sorry, it took me a couple of minutes. I had to turn the the software on so that I could actually print a new one out. And of course, you know, that takes forever. So now our option will be, do you want me to finish coloring her from the start, or would you like to just continue with the hair and go from there? That's the big question, because there's no way I'm ever going to get that off. No amount of colorless blender is ever going to remove that giant spot of color. So I think it did it when I went to my friend's house to color too. So when I refilled it, I obviously refilled it too far. You could put some kind of decoration on here and put a big flower on there, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to throw that out and we're going to start over. All right, so we're just going to go from here. Let's go ahead and just start with her hair, and then you got to see all the coloring of her face and whatever, and I've got it everywhere now. Look, I've got it all over my hand. What a mess. All right, so I've popped the other end off, and what happened is, since I've been using my pins and I'm replacing all these chisel tips with this little fine point, I go through, I clean them off, I put the new nib in there, I put inker in there, and then I go. But evidently I got a little crazy with that one and refilled it. So, way too far. So let's go ahead and go with her hair, and then I will color her face later. Look, it's giving me an eye tick. Okay, now I have a twitch in my eye today. That's crazy. But one good thing about going off to do the thing is I remembered to grab my... I told you we were going to do the Power Poppy stamp here on the 22nd. This was what it is. So we're going to work on this. I'm not done coloring it yet, obviously. But I'm thinking we're going to color it maybe with some colored pencils too. So that should be fun. Doesn't it look pretty? But I grabbed that on the way. Okay, let's go ahead and do her hair. Let me make sure there's none on my hands so I don't... I brought a scratch paper in too this time. Crazy thing, crazy. It could have been worse. There could have been cussing. I'm thinking that I just got crazy with this refilling of this pen. Let's scribble some off. It's making me upset now. So let's go like this, and then we're going to put some of these streaks over here, and this goes clear down here. Yeah, you definitely, you're never, this is too dark. I don't care what kind of, how much colorless blender you've got. It would not take that off. That's never going to happen. Okay, so let's go with YR18. So see, that happens to everybody. Now I'm afraid to color now. Oh. Now I'm going to be worried the whole time whether or not it's going to do some weird blobbing on my paper. Okay, now we're going to go with YR09. Yeah, when I cleaned these and refilled them, I put too much ink in there. That's what I get for trying to be efficient in cleaning them. And I was trying to do it that way because when once you put the new fine tip nib on there, before I could do, when I did the chisel ends, you just pull the chisel end out and you could dampen, you could just drip it in there. But once you put the new fine tip in there, you cannot take it out. So it's not like you can just pop the end out and put a few drops and whatever. And there's supposed to be some kind of special needle tool that you can use to inject the ink right in there. I don't have that. So I have to sit there and let it drip in forever just by dripping it on top of the nib. And it has to suck it up, so it seems like it takes an eternity. It probably doesn't, but when you're doing, you know, 5, 10 of these markers, an eternity feels like I don't have all day. I wanted to hurry up. Okay, let's go back to E19, our terrible one that did that terrible nastiness. Let's take the other end off. I'm going to scrub it on my paper some more. Use some of that up. That's no good. Okay, now. Poor girl. I'm just asking if I use a special scale to check the weight of my markers. Well, Linda, I do. And obviously I should use it more. Because that was messy, wasn't it? I get tired of sticking, because when you take it off and you take the little end off, so usually I just pull this little part out and I just drip it in there, and then you can put it on the mark, you can put it on the weight thing and see how much it is. But while you're waiting for this little thing to suck up ink, it's like, it seems like it takes forever. And then you put it on the scale and it's like 500 times later, 10, 20 minutes, you're done. I'm like, okay. So I need to work better at that, obviously. All right, so we're going to go down here and we're going to do her shoes. So we're going to need W9, 7, and 5. Because, yeah, you're supposed to have like 8. It's supposed to weigh like 8 when it's filled or whatever. With both lids off. I think that's what it is, 8. I'd have to check. Okay, shoes. Let's go with... So these shoes have like a little... On the inside part, there's like this little ridge. I'm going to leave that for the very last color, so like this little ribbon thing here on the outside. But let's do inside that. So inside here. And her buckle's going to be gold, so we're not going to do that. But we're going to go around the edge of this buckle. And back around the outside over here. Remember that little ridge there is going to be, or accent piece is going to be lighter. So I'm not going to color over that. And then we also want to do inside the buckle. And then you can see her shoe over here on this side. I'm going to color that in because that's just, there's nothing going to be down there. And then we're going to go over the top of this little clover and out this way. And let's do a little dab right here on this shoe that's showing right here. And over here. I guess next time I'll wait to do the refilling after we have class. I'll wait and change the other end and do the refilling part afterwards. Because I probably refilled them and then I cleaned them, refilled them, and then I didn't use them again, those colors. And on this shoe over here, the little piece, special piece right here, kind of comes down right here, so I didn't bring my black all the way up to that part. Okay, then we're going to do the back of the shoe, so let's do here, and I'm going to bring this around over like this. Let's turn my shoe a little bit. I'm going to bring this along the sole here. And then we're kind of dips in right here on our sole. And then we'll use W7. Yes, I use a postal scale and I just stick it on there. Whatever has the weight on there, just so that they're all a certain amount. It's not like a special Copic scale. I don't know if they make such a thing or not. I use it to weigh packages. But it would do less of that blobbing if I did it the right way. Okay, then we're gonna go W5. Yeah, we just go on. What are you gonna do? We can't. There's nothing I can do about it. That blobbing thing happens to me all the time. So I'm used to it. Usually it's not at the first of the project. Usually it's after I'm completely finished and makes this giant mess. So now I'm gonna cover in these little sides that I said I was gonna leave to last. And I usually just throw it out, start over. What are you gonna do? I'm usually coloring for the fun of it, so I just color another one. Alright, so now we're going to go with her hat band. So we need Y28, 26, 17, 18. Bye, Kristen. Have a great day. Okay, so we're going to go with Y28 first. Let's go ahead and work on the little buckle down here. So I'm going to do this side over here. And then over here on this side. And then on part of this buckle, you can kind of see the inside and the outside, so I'm going to just cover that up. And next we'll add Y26. And I go right over the top of the 28 because it's got more of a subdued color, so I want to add this bright gold over the top. And then we'll do Y17. And again, I'm going to go over those two previous colors. And then Y18. And Y18 is lighter than the Y17. I don't know why. It just is. That's why I used it last. You'd think it would be darker, but it's not. And I think I'll give it a second coat. So let's do Y28 again. And 26. $17. Y18. Mr. HobbieHaven says, Copic sketch markers with both caps on should be 14.4 to 14.9 grams filled. With no caps on should be 5.9 to 10 grams filled. Okay, so between 14, with the caps off, between 9.5 and 10 grams, that 0.5 difference makes a huge amount. So if you fill one at 9.5, it could be all great. 9 could be great. Sometimes it just is, you put 10 in there and that seems like that's, I don't think I've ever filled mine to 10. I don't remember even being 9.5. So 9.5, you put that in there and it's just going to make a mess. It's my personal opinion on that. So got to kind of wing it. Okay, so we're going to go up here. We're going to do her hat. But I did do a video on refilling them, so I'll link that at the end. Copic maintenance. So we're going to go up here and do her hat with Y28. So we're going to do the little band. So I'm not going to go clear to the edge. I'm going to leave a little bit back here for lighter, but I want it to be, remember when you touch your pencil down, or your pen down, it's going to be darker. So I'm going to kind of pull it over here a little bit and go. But then I don't want this harsh line, so I'm going to touch it down again over here. So it's darker in the middle and gets lighter out here in the outside. I'm going to do Y26. So again, let's pull this way. And then touch down in here. And I'm going to give it 2 coats, so don't worry if it looks terrible. Then we're going to go Y17. This time we're going to go from the edge of the hat. So let's pull over all of this. But I also want to start from this direction, so let me turn my girl a little bit. So we want to come from over here. Okay, then we go Y18. Okay, I'm not going to go all the way, because I'm going to give it a second coat, so I'm not going to fill all that white in yet. I'm going to leave it a little bit so it'll be lighter when I come back with my second coat. Then we'll go with Y18. Linda asked if I ever had my Shinhan Twin Touch markers do that. I have never had them do that. But then I have never refilled mine. So they came from the factory and they've never done it since. I've never had to refill them. I don't use them enough to refill them. So I'm assuming when you refill them, you can overfill them. And then we'll go Y26. Y17. Y18. And then we'll fill in this little spot. She's just so cute. I've never heard of 3D printing pins. I don't know. Okay, so let's see. Let's do the alternate stripe on her socks. So that's going to be C5-3 and our colorless blender. These. Let's go ahead and start with C5. And let's go. We want every other stripe. So let's move this over here. Let's go ahead and start with the top one. That way we can kind of go from there. So let's go. And then we made this. I made this one, and then I made this dark one. But because this piece kind of sticks out and it's on top, I'm going to go from this little crease this way. Okay, and then I made this whole section green. And then I made this little bitty spot that's left down here. Okay, same for this side. Let's go this one. Just easier to keep track. And you can see the inside of her sock on there, or the stripe on this side. So let's do that one. The inside, then we'll skip one. So let's skip this, and then we'll do this. And it kind of comes up right here, so I'm going to leave that. And then we've got green. See, we've got this one, white. And then, kind of hard to decide. You got to kind of pay attention. Okay, let's try that. Then we'll go with C3. Yes, after the video post, Amara, I'll put a link to the refills down in the description box. Okay, so C3, and I'm not going to go all the way across. I'm just going to leave some of that white. So let's just flick a little bit in from each side. Then we're going to take our colorless blender, and I'm just going to flick over this middle section that goes into the C3 just to soften that edge just a little bit. I don't want it to be quite so dramatic. And then I'm just going to leave them like that. Okay, so now we're going to do, oh, what do we got? Let's do her coat. So we're going to use FYG2, YG17, FYG2, YG03, and YG01, along with our C5 and C3 for our coat and our hat. So we're going to use these. Okay, so let me make sure they're in the right order, because otherwise I'll pull them out the wrong way. So this one here, I've never used that. I've had these markers for like forever, and I have never, ever used these. Yeah, Amara, make sure to go watch the video on how to refill them. Yeah, these are refillable. You just take, I don't have any pins that I've already changed, but you just, usually this side has a chisel in, and you just pull that out, and you just drip it in there and put it back in there and go. But I've changed mine, so you can't pull these out anymore. You have to use a special tool. I just usually, with these that I've changed, I just drip it on there and it sucks it up. Give it a couple of drips, it sucks it in. That's what I mean, it takes so long, because it doesn't, they have some kind of special tool that you can do. There's like a little notch on the side of the nib inside on this black part, that there's a little hole for like a needle, so you can like slide it down in there and refill it. But I don't have that, and of course they're on back order or something. Okay, so let's go up here and start with her hat. So I'm going to start with C5. So for her hat, let's go, I'm going to use this down here on the brim. So let's go with our C5 right, not this piece of hair that goes down here past her ear, but this little braidy section. So let's start with our pin right here, the braidy section, and I'm going to come out and I'm going to pull it up over this line just a little bit, and we're going to come down like so. Like that. And right here on her hair, I forgot she's got a little piece of hair right here. I'm gonna cover that in. It's driving me crazy. Okay, so now we're gonna go with C3. Okay, so we're gonna go with this. So I'm going to go over now to where this little section of hair is hanging down past her braid, and I'm going to go right over the top of my C5. I want to go just a little bit on the other side, and then we're going to go down to the bottom of her hat. I'm going to bring this up just a little bit more. I agree. I think Amara says all markers and pins should have refills. I agree with that. They should. They should all have a refill. And I've never heard of using alcohol peroxide with my Copics. Okay, so now we're going to go with YG17. So I'm going to color right over the top of all this gray. So let's go up here to where this hair is coming down. So it's a separate piece. We're going to go over the top of all that gray, but I'm going to go past. I want it to be green out here. We're going to pull down over the top of this. And then let's go ahead and bring it up this way just a little bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and also add that over here. But because I already colored this hair, we're going to go around that. I'm going to be nice with it. And let's go a little bit. And then on this side, okay, let's try that. Now we're going to go with FYG2. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go over these still with this pen. That just helps it blend out a little bit more for me. Then we're going to bring this up. And then we'll go with YG03. And YG01. Then we're going to add a second coat of all of our greens, so YG17. Bring this over here. FYG2. YG03. And then our YG01. And I like to swipe over the entire hat.
What's on your mind? I see that you are struggling. Why wasting time?
And we're going to hop down here and we're going to do our coat. So let's go again, start with C5. And let's see. So up here, her hair and her ear, excuse me, are touching her ear. So I'm going to go ahead and brush a little bit of this C5 up here. So let's go along and add some shadows. Let's see, right here it's tucking behind her hand, so I'm going to add a little bit in there. And then this little section right here already has some shadow lines, so I'm just going to use those. And then let's add some to her pants. And that's going to say is where her pants, you just can't see the pants there. Let's try that. Then we'll go with C3. Then we're going to start our green. So YG17. And we're going to go over this where we put our C5. I'm going to fill this whole section in. Her braids. She's got a little ponytail wrapper in there. Then we're going to go with FYG2.
never thought that I would be the one who turned you down and you disagree. We've been on
I forgot a little spot right here.
we're never meant to keep.
And YG03.
So many times that I have cried when you left me without even saying goodbye. I was longing for you to say you love me back. Yes, I fell in love with you and tried my best to make you love me. And
YG01.
that you say you want me, oh, my answer's no.
And I'm going to use this color for the buttons, so I'm going to just swipe right over the top of those. Nothing fancy for that.
Yes, I fell in love with you.
And then let's do her socks. So I'm not going to do any of the dark. Did I do some black on there? No, it doesn't look like it. So let's do YG17 for her snow. I think I did. Let's do, I should have just done the whole C5 on there to begin with. So let's do a little bit of our C5 on our socks. C3.
Oh, you're so quiet. Tell me now what's on your mind. You're getting bored, right? Emotions running dry.
And then we'll go with our green. So we're going to go YG17.
My name. Tell me why we have to try. Oh, it's a shame. Emotions running dry. I say the things you never dare do. You always so confused. You don't love me and I don't love you. Let's face the truth. I'm getting bored, you see, and I don't wanna think it over. And you don't wanna leave, baby, gotta let this go. I'm getting bored, you see, I guess it wasn't meant to be forever. Too late for you to speak, baby, gotta let this go. Baby, gotta let this go. Baby, gotta let this go. You don't love me.
FYG2.
Oh, say my name. Tell me why we have to try. Oh, it's a shame. Emotions running dry. I say the things you never dare to.
YG03.
You don't love me and I don't love you. Let's face the truth. I'm getting bored, you see, and I don't wanna think it over.
And then I'll go over the whole stripe with my YG01. I think I forgot to color that button. Let's color that. Okay, so we don't need the grays anymore. Let's put those away. For the flower, or for the petals over here, the 4-leaf clovers, we're going to use FYG2, YG03, and YG01. Hi, Scrap Ann! Okay, so we're going to start with our darkest, which is going to be the FYG2. And let's just do, let's go ahead and start over here on this side. These were not that complicated. I just took my pen and colored some color into the center. And like this one's touching the other one, so I went ahead and went down where it was touching it. And this one you can see the back, so I'm going to do the back. I don't know what this is. There's some kind of leaf right here. I'm going to color that in. Okay, and let's hop over here and we'll do these. Next, we're going to add FG03. And there's a few little spaces in between the clovers that I'm going to fill in. Like right here. And we'll hop over here and do this side. And again, I'm filling in some of these spaces that are behind the clovers.
Out of love with no
Then we'll go with YG01 to fill those all in. Oh, thank you, Scrap Band. Mr. HobbieHaven's helping me out with the translation. He's on it. I'm glad you could come by today and enjoy the live stream. It's fun to have everybody stop by and say hi. Ask questions. Don't forget too, ladies, if you have something you want to do in a future class to, after the video's done, to make sure to put it in the comments down below, and we will, I'll add it to my list. Because we're about to finish up. We're getting done with all of our coloring. Let's give her some grass. So let's go with YG03. Hi, Natasha. Okay, so we're gonna go with, let's go over here. Add a little bit of that. And then we'll go over that with our YG01. Whoops. Trying to get away. Okay. There is our girl. And remember, we did the, if you missed the first part, we did the girl's skin before I had this giant accident. So if you want to see that skin part, go ahead and hop over and check that out. So for the card, let me go back up. For the card, since I have to finish coloring her skin, we're not going to put it together. But we've got all this stuff like this. So what I did is I have some little scraps, and I just took these and I kind of set them cattywampus like this and taped them together. Same with this one. I just kind of went and taped them together and then stuck them onto my card base. And then our girl here is popped up on some foam dots, and we have the little pop dots are the little what are these things? Sequins. Forgot what they were called. Sequins that we put on there. So that's all just going here. So super simple. Nothing too complicated. Just some scraps I had sitting on my desk and some sequins to put on your card. And you have a cute little card you can send to a friend. And remember, this girl did come with a sentiment. So if you want to pick her up, there's a link to her down in the description box. So you can head over and grab her and color her with me again later. Just watch the video again and you can color along. But I kept it super simple. Hopefully you're not going to make one of these giant blobs like I did. But she turns out really cute. And I'm definitely going to finish coloring her and make her a card because she needs to be colored. Look at her. She looks so sad. Not colored. So we'll do that. So don't forget, next week we're going to be doing Love You to Bits. So this is a Mo's digital pencil image. You can head over and grab the Digi. This was a card kit and I sold out, so there's no more. So if you want to grab the girl though, you can get her over there and color her with us. And then the following week on the 15th, we're doing the surprise card kit. Everybody's always asking for boy cards. So here's a boy card. Run over to the store and grab one. And we will color him up on the 15th. And then the week after that, on the 22nd, we're going to do Everything's Rosy Power Poppy digital stamp, and I'm not done with this one, so I'll get this finished up and over onto the store blog under classes so that you can see it all finished and go grab it if you would like to do that. Don't forget, if you're going to pick him up, to use your coupon code YouTube for 25% off, and then you can pick first class shipping and it'll be a little bit cheaper. So, you know, that's how it goes. So that's what we're going to do. So I hope you had fun coloring her. If you have a question, make sure to leave me a comment down below and I'll make sure to get back to you. If I said I was going to post links, I will do that after the video gets done processing. I will change the description down below to include the extra things that I wanted to put in there. If you have a suggestion for a future live stream, make sure to leave it in the comments down below so that I can add it to my list. I'm willing to try new things out to color. Otherwise, I hope you are having a fabulous week, and we'll see you next Thursday at 9 a.m. for Bible Journaling Pacific Standing Time, or you can join me at 10:30 for coloring. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.